But I had to mentally say, I'm all in, and I had to find something that lit my fire, okay? Okay, so something that I learned from that, you guys, is that if you are going to your dream teamers or you are talking to people over and over and following up the exact same way, stop. Okay, I think it's maybe a Brooke Hemingway video. She talks about this too. If you're going to be following up with people, my suggestion is to do it differently. Even if it's a dream teamer, maybe don't talk about the business. Maybe talk about the products. Maybe approach them like in a blue way about the fun, you know. Maybe approach them in a yellow way. There's different ways of reaching out to people. And I don't know if I would have joined sooner if somebody talked to me about the products, but I know I was struggling and I know I needed this and I didn't care about their business, until I cared and wanted it. Okay. So I am a big fan of a list. I like a good list of things that I can do and that I can put into action. So y'all heard Emily Burgess last week. She is my power partner. She talked a lot about power partners and how that's benefited her. And I'm going to go ahead and second that. If you do not have a power partner, find one. That is my lifeline. Plexus and any network marketing, you have seasons. It's up, it's down, it's up, it's down. And my power partners are the ones to pull me up all the time and encourage me and tell me to stop, get out of your own head, Jordan. You're good at this. You can do this. You need somebody like that. My husband is really great at it, but I need somebody that's in the trenches with me to do it. Okay, so let's talk action. Okay, get your pens, get your papers. Let's take some notes. I love a good list. So let's talk about action. Personal IPA. Okay, guys, if you are expecting your teams to do the work for you and get you to Ruby or Emerald, it is not going to happen. You have to do your own personal IPA and be your own rock star. Personally, I have a goal every single month to recruit at least 5 level 1 ambassadors. And I think I've done that most months. Because I feel like I have to be the lid for my team, right? If you haven't heard of the law of the lid, somebody wants to post a video in the comments. You are the lid to your team. Rarely is your team ever going to do more work than you. Most of the time it's like 1/4 to 1/2. That Megan Goff and I were talking today, and she actually told me that. It's 1/2 to 1/4 of what you do. So if you're expecting your team to work, you have to work, okay? And you have to work hard. Tamara Holloway always says short-term sacrifices for long-term gains. And that is so true. I'm not kidding. Mark my words, ask my husband. The first 3 months I was working, July, August, September, I did not watch one TV show. I dove into training videos. I watched them when I was doing dishes. I watched them while he was in bed. I watched them with headphones until 1 a.m. just because I couldn't get off of the training videos. So, short-term sacrifices for long-term gains. How bad do you want this? Are you really all in? Because I was all in. And I was ready to go. Okay, so personal IPA. That's a huge one, you guys. A girl on my team, actually, she has given me the biggest compliment ever. And she probably doesn't even know it. Her name is Alex. And she is a rock star. Like, she's killing it. And she, every time I have a win, Emily and I, and then Cassandra also, we all won Silver Stars. And when she texted me when I won, and she said, "You're the lid, thank you." And that was the biggest compliment I've ever received from someone, because she's seeing that I'm working, and that's awesome. That was a huge compliment. Okay, so another thing is forward thinking. Some people come to me and they're like, how do you encourage your team to get past silver? Do they just stop? And the answer is no. You have to be forward thinking, and not just today, not just the first week of every month. You have to be forward thinking all the time. I'm constantly, as soon as someone hits gold, all right, when are you going to see your gold? What's your plan? When someone signs up, it's, when do you want to do your first Facebook event? Can I help you make your first post? It's always next steps, next action. And I think that's really important. it's also really important for me. I mean, as soon as I went Ruby, I gave myself one day to like really enjoy it. And then the next day, I was making my senior Ruby plan. So really pushing forward all the time. That's, to me, that's one of the biggest secrets that, it's not really a secret, but it's one of the things that's really propelled momentum. It's just always moving forward. Okay. This is another one, you guys. If you are a leader, I think it might be Jessica Heffley who says this, but you have to spend money to make money. If you are not investing in your team, I want to encourage you to do that. When's the last time you ran in a personal incentive for your team? When is the last time you did a posting challenge? I do posting challenges sometimes, like, hey, everybody post this week for 5 days a week and we'll give away Starbucks gift cards. When is the last time you gave somebody a gift for ranking up? When is the last time you did a challenge for your team and you rewarded them for completing it? You have to spend money to make money. And if I'm going to spend my money, I'm going to do it with my team because they're my family now and I want to invest in them. And I feel like, it was really great because when I was pushing for Ruby, my entire team, you guys, it was they almost had me in tears. They were like, what can we do? How can we help you? Like, what can we do? And that to me was so important. And I'm hoping that part of that was because I have invested in them, not just time, but money also. So when is the last time you spent money on your team? Now, here's another thing that is not comfortable for me. I am not a cheerleader by nature. I'm not just a huge motivator. I'm not one of those that's like, yeah, let's go all the time. Probably because I don't need that. But if you are like me, or if you're a red, I don't know if that's a red trait, sometimes you have to get uncomfortable to really help your team. So one of the biggest things that I've had to learn was that I have to get out of my comfort zone and I have to become my team's best cheerleader. If somebody has a win, I'm going to be right there with them. If somebody needs to be pulled up, I'm going to be their motivator, So if that's not comfortable for you, then I suggest getting out of your comfort zone and constantly being a motivator. My goal every single day is to give a shout out on Facebook every single day to someone. Whether it's they made their first post, whether it's maybe they signed their first ambassador, or maybe they hit 5. I had 4 girls this month each get 5 ambassadors. That was huge for them. And they're getting a shout out tomorrow. They didn't even know that. But I think that getting out of your comfort zone and leading others like they need to be led, not like you want to be led, is a really big one. And for me, that's motivating my team. Okay, so the 100-person reach out. This was kind of a big one. People really wanted to know about this last week. So I obviously I've watched way too many training videos. I don't know where I got this idea from, but somebody talked about it. I'm sure I'm not the only one. It is really hard for me to get IPA in every single day. Anybody else? Yeah? Yes, maybe? And so what I started doing was reaching out to people in chunks. It was easier for me. And so it was back in November when I did my very first one. I reached out to 100 people in about 5 days. And that was way easier to me than having to focus every day and reaching 5 to 10 people a day. Okay, so that's what I did. In December, I actually made a list for my team. The first day I said, maybe your topic is moms. Reach out to moms. Be really genuine with moms. If you need an idea, pick the first letter of your name and go pick 10 people that day that start with the first letter of your name. Some of the other ideas, I think Tamara used this on one of her challenges. It was the X Factor Kids. Go talk to people about X Factor Kids. You'll be surprised how many of them are already doing a multivitamin. So that's kind of how that started. How did we keep that going? We created a message thread. And one of the last things I want to talk about is getting in the trenches with your team and letting them see you work. And something, it was actually Megan and I, we were talking because she was in Chattanooga, Megan Goff, and, you know, she and I were talking about what is IPA and what does that mean? Y'all, there are so many things that you can do that are not on an IPA sheet. Action is way bigger than IPA. Action is getting on the phone with people that are wanting to sign up with you, with prospects. That's a huge one. Action is scheduling one-on-one Zooms with all of your new ambassadors. It's going to take time, but that's how I really feel like that made the difference in how I earned Silver Stars. I spent time with these people. I was pouring into them. As soon as I signed up, I was scheduling one-on-one Zooms, one-on-one trainings. Y'all, group pages are really overwhelming. When you were added to your group page for the very first time, were you not a little overwhelmed? I was on one for almost 2 years, and I didn't look at it because I was so overwhelmed with all the comments. And so teaching them their resources, teaching them, giving them the tools to be successful, realizing their fear and helping them get over that fear. Okay. And so, the last thing that I really wanted to talk about was, action. What is that? And it's a lot more than IPA. It's all of these things on this little note card. I will type them out when I'm done, but there's a lot more. And if you really want momentum and you want to do this quick, then I suggest getting in the trenches and working. And if you want to see your team work, then you have to outwork them. And that's just how it is. And I'm really, really thankful that you guys allowed me to do this. And